In world news tonight, 13 people are dead after a gas explosion at a coal mine in the Czech Republic, the worst mining disaster in the country in almost 3 decades. It happened at a state-run mine near the border with Poland. It's believed a gas explosion more than 800 meters underground devastated areas of the mine. Recovery efforts had to be abandoned because of conditions in the mine shaft. Most of the dead were Polish workers. Poland has declared Sunday a day of mourning.
Peace and concord to the Queen and all the people of the world. Amen.
Wreaths and prayers today in the Scottish town of Lockerbie, marking the 30th anniversary of the bombing of a Pan Am jumbo jet that killed 270 people. The jet exploded over Lockerbie en route from London to New York on December 21st, 1988. All 259 people on board were killed. Another 11 people were killed on the ground. It is the deadliest ever militant attack in Britain. Libya has accepted responsibility for the bombing and paid compensation to the victims' families. The U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she underwent a surgery today to remove 2 cancerous growths in her left lung. It's the 3rd time she's been treated for cancer since 1999. In a statement, the court said her doctors found no evidence of further disease and no further treatment is planned. She'll stay in a Washington hospital a few more days before being released. The 85-year-old judge is considered one of the court's left-wing champions. Her health is closely watched by liberals and conservatives alike. If she were to step down now, President Donald Trump would choose her replacement and further shift the Supreme Court in a more conservative direction.
It's possible that we'll have a shutdown. I would say the chances are probably very good.
A wild wrap-up to the year in Washington, with Donald Trump threatening a government shutdown hours before a midnight deadline Eastern that would see funding dry up for about a quarter of the federal government, leaving hundreds of thousands of workers without paychecks over the holidays.
We're totally prepared for a very long shutdown.
Donald Trump demanding Congress approve $5 billion in spending to put towards a U.S.-Mexico border wall. The U.S. president also shifting the blame, tweeting, "The Democrats now own the shutdown," even though he said he'd be proud to shut down the government just last week.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck. I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it.
The White House has said Trump would not go to Florida today as planned for the holidays in case of a government shutdown. And shockwaves are still being felt in Washington and beyond in the wake of U.S. Secretary of Defense James Mattis's resignation. While Trump described the departure as a retirement, Mattis's letter of resignation paints another picture, writing to the president in part, "Because you have the right to have a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with yours on these and other subjects, I believe it is right for me to step down from my position." The resignation after Trump said he was withdrawing U.S. troops from Syria, claiming ISIS has been defeated, a move it's believed Mattis opposed and was reportedly announced without consulting allies, including Canada. And the U.S. presence in Afghanistan is expected to be slashed in half. Politicians from both parties expressing shock over Mattis's departure. Republican Senator Marco Rubio tweeting, "Just read General Mattis's resignation letter. It makes it abundantly clear that we are headed towards a series of grave policy errors, which will endanger our nation, damage our alliances, and empower our adversaries." Democratic Senator Mark Warner posting in part, "This is scary. Secretary Mattis has been an island of stability amidst the chaos of the Trump administration." As for the pullout from Syria, France's defense minister calling it an extremely grave decision today. And one person said to be praising the withdrawal is Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The idea that Putin is happy about this is ridiculous. He's not. This puts a greater emphasis and makes them have to actually step up and do something and do more in the region. It puts them at a greater risk.
General Mattis, by the way, set to leave the job in February.